In this video, we are going to see how to merge two sorted arrays. Now, this merging process is the main task in merge sort. So, we need to understand this process before learning merge sort. Suppose we have these two sorted arrays and we have to combine them in a third array in sorted order. Now, one approach could be to just copy these arrays into this array and then sort this array by using any sorting technique. But in this approach, we are not utilizing the fact that these arrays are sorted. Since these arrays are sorted, we can scan them just once and get the combined sorted output in this array. Let's see how we can do this. We'll take three variables I, j and k to store the current index of these three arrays. Now in each step we'll compare a1i and a2j, and whichever is smaller will be copied to this array at kth position. If a1i is smaller, it will be copied to this array and I and k will be incremented, and if a2j is smaller, then it will be copied to this array at kth position and j and k will be incremented. So let's start the merging process. First 2 and 9 are compared. So 2 is smaller, is copied to this array and j and k are incremented. Next 9 and 10 are compared. 9 is smaller, so I and k are incremented. Next 10 is smaller, so j and k are incremented. Next 11 is smaller from 11 and 17, so 11 is copied and I and k are incremented. Next from 15 and 17, 15 is smaller, so it is copied and I and k are incremented. Next 17 is smaller. Next 29 is smaller. 31 is smaller. Next from 39 and 40, 39 is smaller. Next 40 is smaller. Next 43 is smaller. Now we can see that this array A1 is finished and there are three remaining elements in the array A2. So we'll just copy these elements into this array. And now we have merged these two sorted arrays A1 and A2 in this array temp. Now let's see the code for this process. We have taken two lists A1 and A2 and we have entered elements in both of them in sorted order. N1 is the number of elements in list A1 and N2 is the number of elements in list A2. And this is the function merge that merges these two sorted lists into this list temp. This list temp has number of elements equal to N1 plus N2. After this, we are printing this merged list temp. Now let's see how this function merge works. We have taken these three variables I, j and k for these three lists. I is for A1, j is for A2 and k is for temp. Now inside this while loop, we are comparing A1i and A2j. If A1i is smaller, it is copied to temp and I and k are incremented. Otherwise, A2j is copied to temp and j and k are incremented. This loop will stop when either list A1 finishes or list A2 finishes, which means that it will stop when either I becomes equal to N1 or j becomes equal to N2. Now after this loop stops, if list A2 is finished and there are elements remaining in list A1, then those remaining elements will be copied to temp using this loop. And if list A1 is finished and there are elements remaining in list A2, then those remaining elements can be copied to temp using this loop. Now let's run this program. So these were the two sorted lists and they were merged into this list. We have seen how to merge two sorted arrays into a third array. Now a single array can have two sorted parts and these parts can be merged to a different array using the same process. For example, this array A has two sorted parts, and these sorted parts can be merged to another array using the same procedure that we have seen. The only difference here would be between the lower and upper bounds of the sorted parts. In that case, the lower bound in both the arrays was 0 and the upper bound was size of the array minus 1. Here we have to take four variables to indicate the lower and upper bound of both the sorted parts, and using the same procedure we can merge these two sorted parts into this array temp. Now let's see the code for this. These are the two sorted parts of list A low 1 to A up 1 and A low 2 to A up 2. These sorted parts are merged to this portion of list temp using this function merge. We have taken these three variables I, j and k. I we have taken for this part. So we have initialized it to low 1. J we have taken for this part. So we have initialized it to low 2. And K we have taken for this part. So we have initialized it to low 1. Now these three while loops are same as in the previous case. The only difference here is in the upper bound. There the upper bound was n1 minus 1 and n2 minus 1. And here the upper bounds are up 1 and up 2. Now here we are testing this function merge. In this list, these two parts are the sorted parts that will be merged. Now let's run this program. So we can see that the two sorted parts of the list are merged. We'll use this merge function in the merge sort that we'll see in the next lecture.